This is a no-limit knife. It's an out-the-front automatic, and it comes in this this case because in California it's against the law to carry around a out-the-front knife. So in California they give you a case to use. This knife I bought in San Francisco, and it was about $165 in tax from Katachi in Japantown, San Francisco. And here's the knife. It's a very sleek, minimalist out the front knife. It's by No Limit Knives. See if I can zoom in a little bit. So the knife action on this is very nice. I believe it's illegal to carry one of these out in public in California, but it's legal, I guess, to buy and to sell and to own in your house if you just want to keep it in your house. This knife, I believe, is a local California person or company, No Limit Knives. I believe they're using Best Tech knives to manufacture this, but I'm not sure. The size of it is, if we put down a ruler here, the size of the blade is about 3.5 inches, and the overall blade is about 8.5 inches. This comes in several different sizes and types. This size, there was a smaller size that it came in. I think maybe 2.5 inches or 2 inches, which was actually more expensive than this knife. So this knife was $165. There was like a 2-inch knife or 2.5-inch knife, and that was well over $200. So the smaller one was actually more expensive than the larger one. And you can see the knife quality, the blade quality is quite good. The only couple issues that I see, everything is pretty much built perfectly, except I noticed there is this one screw that's a little bit sticking out. I don't know if you can hear that. The other screws are okay. This one's a little bit sticking out, which is kind of... Other than that, it's pretty much a perfect knife. This case, I believe, is aluminum. That's the best I can tell, is that this case is aluminum, and it's super light. It's the lightest out the front knife I've picked up. The only other issue with this knife is the strength it takes to push this lever down. It takes a lot of strength to do it. So one of the problems that I always see with out the front knives is carrying it around and by accident pushing the lever that opens it up and hurting yourself, basically. But on this knife, I don't think you could mistakenly push this. It just takes too much force. It's actually very tough to open. It's not it's not impossible or anything. It's just takes a lot of force, and so you have to have a strong thumb or whatever. And but other than that, it seems great. So the quality on this knife is actually really good for something that I'm assuming is made in China. It's actually really good. I got this other out the front knife, and it's clearly Chinese. It's clearly It's clearly Chinese. It says it's made by Microtech, but it's not made by Microtech. And this one, it opens much easier. The opening mechanism is easier. But if you look, you can see the quality isn't that good. The blade kind of rattles around in here a little bit. Whereas with this knife, a little bit, tiny little bit, but this is really good. It doesn't rattle around. There's a tiny bit of play in here, but not a whole lot. And the blade quality on this is really nice. If you look, I'm not quite sure what kind of steel it is, but it says D2 here. I don't know if that's the blade quality or the blade shape. I'm not quite sure, but other than that, this is a very nice steel, and it's very sharp. Whereas this knife, I don't know, it didn't retain its sharpness. It's not, even if you sharpen this blade, it's just not a good quality, knife. This knife is very similar to my favorite knife, which is this one, which is cold steel knife. Kind of dirty, but this knife is a perfect knife for just about everything. You can use it to open mail with. You could use it as a good weapon if you wanted to use it as a weapon. Because it's this blade type. This blade type is very similar to this blade type in terms of length and style, and my day-to-day use is probably just opening mail with this thing or opening boxes or whatever. But this is the classic Italian stiletto type knife, and what the Italians would do is just come up close to you, grab you, and just stick you over and over again. That's the Italian stiletto fighting method, you know. And so this type of knife is makes probably the best tactical knife that you could get. And the size, I believe, is the best size you can get too. So there we have it. This is a no limit out the front knife. I haven't seen these sold online anywhere. I've only seen them sold in the one store that I went to, so I think it's a pretty unique knife. Like I say, I believe they're still on sale at Katachi Knives in Japantown in San Francisco, and I believe they're a local company, so check them out if you can. I believe they're well worth the money. If you wanted to get one of these, they're well worth the money. So with the cheap Chinese knives that are coming out nowadays, it's tough to know what to get in terms of a knife. I would say don't get this knife, but because they're just too cheap. If you're gonna get a $30 knife, it's gonna end up being pretty cheap. But if you get one of these knives, I think it's a really good knife. Very light. Would be a great everyday carry if you were in a state where it was legal to carry this. You wouldn't have to worry about the trigger mechanism, opening the knife up in your pocket, because it's pretty strong. It's a very light knife, very, very easy and nice to carry around every day. And this nice knife type, I believe, is the most useful for a variety of things, but especially for opening up mail. That's probably the most use you'll get out of this knife is opening up your mail every day. So, thanks.